Lena had always been a curious soul, one to poke her nose where it didn't belong. As a child, it was the unexplored woods behind her house, the old abandoned farmhouse that everyone swore was haunted. As an adult, it was a darker curiosity, an obsession with urban legends and forgotten folklore. One night, while browsing through obscure online forums, Lena stumbled upon a story, a chilling account of a cursed house hidden deep in the woods. The tale promised the usual fare: lost souls, restless spirits, and a dark power that thrived on the curious, the desperate, the foolish. The more Lena read, the more she felt a pull. She couldn't help it. Something inside her urged her to see it for herself, to uncover the truth behind the mystery. Everyone had heard the rumors. Locals spoke of it in hushed whispers, avoiding the subject altogether. Yet Lena wasn't one to back down from the unknown. The very idea of being the one to solve it, to break the curse, felt like destiny. Days passed, and Lena found herself driving through the darkened roads that led to the forest. The further she went, the denser the trees grew, casting shadows that seemed to swallow the light. Her heart beat faster, but she pushed forward. As she reached the clearing, she saw it. The house, standing decrepit and imposing at the edge of the woods. The air felt thick, as if it were watching her, waiting for her arrival. Stepping out of her car, Lena felt a sudden chill crawl up her spine. The house loomed over her, its broken windows like empty eyes, its peeling paint like the skin of a corpse. She walked cautiously toward the front door, and as her hand touched the rusted handle, it opened without a sound. Inside, the air was stale, and the floorboards creaked under her weight. Dust particles danced in the beams of her flashlight, and the silence was suffocating. She moved through the house, drawn deeper into its heart. The walls were lined with strange symbols, scratched into the wood like some kind of forgotten language. Lena couldn't read it, but she felt their meaning, a heavy sense of dread that seemed to grow with every step she took. Her flashlight flickered and died. That was when she heard it, a soft, low hum coming from deep within the house. It was faint at first, almost like the sound of wind, but as she moved toward it, it grew louder, clearer, until it was unmistakably human. Someone, or something, was singing. Lena's pulse quickened, but she couldn't turn back now. The curiosity that had driven her here gripped her, even as fear began to claw at her mind. She followed the song, her feet carrying her down narrow hallways and into a dimly lit basement. At the bottom of the stairs, she saw it. In the center of the room, surrounded by candles and strange rituals drawn on the floor in blood, stood a figure, a woman, gaunt and pale. Her skin stretched tight over bones like a corpse. Her eyes were empty sockets, and her voice, if it could be called that, was a hollow melodic wail that made Lena's skin crawl. The woman turned toward Lena, her mouth cracking open wider than it should have, a void where her teeth should be. "Why are you here?" The woman's voice whispered, not with her mouth, but directly into Lena's mind. "You should not have come." Lena wanted to run, but her body wouldn't obey. Her legs felt like lead, and the room seemed to spin around her. She could hear the woman's voice again, but now it was more than just a warning. It was an invitation. Lena didn't know why, but she took a step forward, and then it happened. The floor beneath her cracked open, and something cold, slick, and heavy wrapped around her legs, pulling her down. Screaming, she reached for anything to hold on to, but the floorboards were crumbling beneath her. and the walls around her began to close in. The woman stood above her, her empty eyes gleaming with malicious delight. "You came for the truth," the woman hissed. "Now you are part of the story." Lena's scream was swallowed by the darkness. The last thing she saw was the woman's distorted face looming over her as she was dragged into the black abyss beneath the house. The next day, the house stood silent once more, as if it had never been disturbed. But deep in the bowels of the earth, where the house's cursed foundations met, Lena's body was bound to the dark ritual, her soul now another fragment of the house's endless horror. And so, the story of the cursed house continued, as it always had, waiting for the next curious soul to stumble upon it. So, are you curious? Hey, if you liked this video and want more content, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want to share some of your personal scary stories, email us using the email in the description. Haunt you later.